Well, hello and welcome to Galaxy News on StarSat Channel 500. You're watching Morning Express and I am Violette Tsumgwelo. Let's take a look at our headlines this half an hour. Transport Minister says he will not be dragged into petty fights with the taxi industry. While COVID-19 cases in Ethiopia reaches a new milestone, Ndayishimiye fills 30% of Burundi's new cabinet with women, and Malian MP reappointed by the president amid a mass protest. Now, also joining me on today's show is LEBOHANG SITHOLE, who's a creative artist. LEBOHANG is an artist, and he will be joining us and also giving us an experience of how he started in the creative art industry. Now, welcome, sir, and thank you for joining us. I would like to know how you started with creative arts and what was the inspiration behind you starting this journey.
Okay, first of all, why am I an artist? I think each and every person will be something at the end of the day. So the reason why I'm an artist, this thing to me is a calling. So I was born on the day when my grandfather passed away. So he was a jazz musician. He had a band, it was called Amajembe Band. So most of the things that my grandfather did during his time are the things that I do in life. So in a sense that when I look at his photos, I actually see myself. When I touch his clothes, I feel like I've used them before. When I visit his house, I feel like I've lived there before.
His presence,
you understand?
Yeah.
So when I grew up, I had, when I was young, like they were saying I'm insane. So you see a lot of people, when you look at this page, it's blank. But to me, I get ideas for it. Understand? So even in my bedroom when I was young, all the walls, they had drawings, in a sense that even my Bible had drawings. I used to draw on my textbooks at school, in a sense that with what was happening to me at that time, I was even taken to church so that I can get prayers for that.
Now, do you think your journey in creative art as an artist, it is a way of like spirituality is also involved, and since you cleared that you were born when your grandfather passed away, do you think that there's a bit of connection when it comes to also seeing the visuals that you are drawing? Because I'm sure you don't just wake up and decide, we'll say, okay, today I'm drawing. It's something that you need to dream, or it's something that you need to vision. Do you think there's a part of spirituality in this journey?
I think even though like whatever that is happening, other people, they can't take it into a consideration. So Mara in terms of issue, it is possible that one person can inherit a gene from one of his family members and be recognized exactly as that person. But the only person who was sometimes seeing that, it was my grandmother.
Okay, now since you are here right now, we're going to let you go and do your work, because we want to see how you do this work. We want to see how your creativity comes about. For now, we are going to give you some time to go and do your work, and then we're going to bring you back after the break so we can continue this interview on how your journey started and where you are right now.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And that is LEBOHANG SITHOLE. As I've said earlier, that he's a creative artist. We're going to let him go to do his work. But when we come back, more of his art and more of his work, as you guys will be seeing on our screen. But let's get to our top stories right now. The Transport Minister, Fikile Mbalula, told the taxi industry in the country that he will not be dragged into petty fights, particularly if anyone wants him to engage in such. Mbalula was responding on Monday after the taxi industry nationwide announced that they will return to full capacity loading as they feel that the government is not taking them seriously. Now, the South African National Taxi Association, SANTACO, lamented the loss as the regulation of the national lockdown only permitted them to load a 70% capacity. Mbalula said it must be known that he is not fighting with the taxi owners, and if there is any fight, he is being invited to. Unfortunately, he won't be able to make it. Let's take a listen.
And give the feedback ngelilonke andilwi nabantu abangonoteksi andikho emfazweni injalo njoku andizimiselanga uyingena lo mfazwe uba ikhona ndithi chithani lawo manzi akho nkuku izawuxhelwa andizi. I'm not coming to that fight you are inviting me to. I am not coming and easy. You can do whatever you want and easy bobaba bamateksi akitli. Don't invite me to a fight. I'm not coming. We've got bigger things to fight for in this country working together. I'm not prepared to fight with anybody over nothing. We've got a problem here of corona virus. That's our biggest fight here we've got. You've got an ally in Minister Mbalula, but like they say, throwing a good love away. You might not know it now, you'll know it someday. So, I'm here for you. Ubani nani ndifuni, kulungile. It's fine. But now I'm here to serve you and then to report to the president as my boss and my leader.
Malula further stated that if some people are not happy about him, they should report to the president of the country, as he would also appreciate being invited to that meeting so he could hear his wrongdoing.
So I respond to the president, and if you think that Mbalula is not doing you right, reportani ku president madoda nimxelele ukuthi yini inkinga yami nami ngizawucela ukuba khona. Ngizawucela nami uzivela ukuthi ndenzeni ngaka madoda. Ngabulawa nje, ngabulawa ngabantu bakithi bangibulala bayangiqeda nya. Andikho emfazweni. Naki into adumela kaSuthu. Kiyaya ntweni kiye uyona straight ngqo. But this one, angizi. I can't go to something that does not need us to fight. They want this help from me. I'm addressing it. I said 1 billion. This is what Treasury has given me after I went to request. Velo icela le mali. Velo icela. Mabaqeda ukunginika bathi manje sizoyikhipha kanjani Mbalula le mali. Bathi sizokunikeza yona ngeSARS.
The minister had also said that it is shameful that Taxi Association opted to do things their way and did not want to wait for the outcome of the proposed meeting. He also emphasized that he was working tirelessly to help the embattled taxi industry. Let's take a look.
I conclude have been taken up, and I'm still going to take up all of those issues with the banks and all of that to come to the party and help. People's taxis are repossessed, going to address that. And working very hard around these issues that have been raised. And then I'll report to the taxi industry this week when National Command Council have processed all the issues.
Thank you very much.
All the power utility at Eskom said on that 2 of its technicians were held hostage by residents of Zonkizizwe in Ekurhuleni, who forced the 2 employees to unlawfully restore power supply in the area. The Eskom spokesperson Sikonati Manjanja said in an interview that the 2 technicians were working in the Zonkizizwe area in Katlehong, where they were restoring supply to the area when they were confronted and kidnapped. It is reported that the 2 Eskom employees were dragged by the residents who demanded that they go fix a transformer that has been off for a while in that area. Eskom has not fixed that transformer in their area because of non-payment and illegal connections. However, Manjanja revealed that the employees had managed to escape the ordeal shortly after. What turned to be a historic event in politics with sure elections being rerun in Malawi and later favoring the candidate who had lost on the first run. The man who emerged victorious has rendered adoration to the Almighty God. Malawi's Constitutional Court annulled Mr. Mutaringa's victory in May 2019 elections, citing vote tampering. Now, coming to the last week's rerun in elections, the country was bitterly divided. Malawi becomes the second African nation to annul a presidential election over irregularities after Kenya back in 2017.
The vast majority of my family, my friends, my ministry colleagues, they understand that I have not left ministry, but I have gone into a different world as a missionary to bring forth light where light is most needed in terms of leadership. The leadership that we talk about in the church, which is the leadership I have known all my life.
And in Malawi, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, who's also a preacher who runs a mega church in Malawi's territories, celebrated his victory and claimed that he struggled when God directed him to take over the prestigious presidential office in the country. Let's take a look and listen.
To stand before you as your president today is an honor. The dream for all of us together to be the ones who enjoy the riches of Malawi's soil, to be the ones who make the products of our industries, to be the ones who harvest the bounties of our fields, to be the ones who are served by our taxes, and to be the ones who raise the skylines of our cities. Dr. Chilima and I accept this challenge and task. With your help, we will restore a new generation's faith in the possibility of having a government that serves.
President Chakwera's victory was well received by multitudes who were seen scrapping even the road signs that had the name of the outgoing head of state, Peter Mutaringa.
Oh my God. Hey.
And Morning Express quickly goes to a short break, but before we even go to that, we promised you some good work, so take a look.
From rural to urban, we bring you local and international sport.
From Cape to Cairo, from Nairobi to Kinshasa. As we stand out amongst the rest. And we are here to inspire you.
From the Horn of Africa to the Equator's indigenous people.
Galaxy Universal Network. Abapenyi bezindaba nezintatheli ezingesabilutho. Bila woga, upendeleo, hatuogopi chochote.
Channel 500 on Starset. This is Galaxy Universal Network.
Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful! This is exactly what I was looking for! DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir, you know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat.
Welcome back to Morning Express. Remember, you're still tuned to Galaxy News on StarSat Channel 500. You're tuned to Morning Express. Let's take a look at your headlines. And women make up over 30% of Burundi's new cabinet, according to a government release issued over the weekend. President Evariste Ndayishimiye, in a decree, nominated 16-member cabinet to help run a government business. The cabinet is also inclusive of the Prime Minister Alain Guillaume Bunyoni and Vice President Prosper Bazombanza. Portfolios handed to women include justice, labor, tourism, and communication. Ex-President Nkurunziza's last health minister, Thandi Dkumana, had also maintained her ministerial portfolio. While the Minister of Health, Thandi Dkumana, the Minister of Justice was named as Madame Janine Nimbizi, and the Minister of Public Service and Labour and Employment was Madame Domine Banyakimbona, and the Minister of Commerce, Transport and the Industry and Tourism was Honourable Immaculate Ndabeneze. The Minister of National Solidarity and Social Affairs with Human Rights and Gender was Madame Imelde Sabushimike, and the Minister of Communication, Information and Technologies, also with media, was Mrs. Marie Chantal Jimbire. A former police chief, Gavize, now a Minister of Interior and Security, and the Prime Minister is Bunyoni, are currently under the US and EU sanctions for their roles in representations and rights of violations in 2015. Now, the task ahead of the cabinet includes turning around the country's economy, security, and resetting Burundi's relations with its neighbors and the East Africa region at large. Another significant appointment is the Foreign Affairs post, which was handed to the country's top diplomat to the UN, Albert Shingiro.
Thousands of Burundians on Friday lined the road to the capital, Gitega, as the body of former President Pierre Nkurunziza was escorted under heavy security for a state funeral after his sudden death earlier this month. Nkurunziza, who ruled the country for 15 years, died at the age of 55 of what the government said was heart failure. But speculation is rife he may have caught the coronavirus, as his wife had been flown to Nairobi for treatment for the virus just 2 weeks prior. The funeral ceremonies began with an homage by his wife, Denis Bukami Nkurunziza, his children and those close to him in an intimate gathering at a hospital in the central city of Kuruzi, where he died on June 8, a government source said. Nkurunziza died shortly after an election won by his hand-picked successor, Evariste Ndayishimiye, who was sworn in last week.
Like I promised you, I'm still joined by Mr. LEBOHANG SITHOLE, who's a creative artist. Well, he uses a lot of charcoal and soft pastels. Now, sir, I want you to tell us about your exhibitions that you had in 2011. You know, you're born and raised in the Natal spirit, but tell us, how were you involved in the 2011 exhibition?
2011 exhibition in Tatagos.
Yes.
In Tatagos, it was my first solo show. If Intatagos basically is based on a breakthrough, you understand? Yeah, in terms of a career. That was my first show.
That was your first show. Now tell us, as a creative artist, how has government come forward with government is helping you when it comes to your work? Are they involved? And how should government come aboard when it comes to helping our creative artists?
You see, desire is good, but the reality is unfair. At this present moment, the majority of artists are in crisis. You understand? Because I think art, especially in South Africa, is still not considered.
Yeah. So where do you normally showcase umsebenzi wako besides having, because I know there's articles that have been out when it comes to your work, but where do you showcase umsebenzi wako? And as much as we know, when it comes to art and creative art in South Africa, I don't think abantu abaninzi even know that there's people that can do that. I don't think there's a lot of people that know, especially when it comes to the black people. There's not much support when it comes to government. There's not much of exposure when it comes to your work. So where do you normally showcase umsebenzi wako, and how can people get hold of having to work with you?
Currently I'm working with Candice Bemen. Candice Bemen who's a Riverside Shopping Center. It's got a gallery there. So I've signed with her. Basically what she does, she's the one who promotes my work.
Yes.
So currently I'm working with Candice Bemen. Yes. So
umuntu ohlele endlini who wants to get a hold of you, or who would want you to do something for them, and also umuntu ohlele endlini who's also a creative artist, but akayazi ukuthi angayenza kanjani umsebenzi wakhe angaphuma kanjani ebantwini, ungathi lo muntu lo makenze ntoni?
Galleries are there to help artists to become the brand that they want to be. So if we artists out there and you're struggling, take your work and show it to galleries, because they are there to help you to become the brand that you want to be. Yes.
Now, on social media, are you on social media?
On Facebook.
Your numbers, so that we can have people calling you right now.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, LEBOHANG SITHOLE. You can also browse to my website. It's sitholelebohang.co.za. sitholelebohang.co.za.
And but LEBOHANG, before ndiye kuhambe, what are some of the challenges that you face as a creative artist in South Africa, and also how have you been keeping sane? I know we're dealing with the pandemic right now, COVID, also I'm sure even when it comes to that, having to draw and do your work, it's hard. So you also need a inspiration and all these things. So how have you been keeping sane and also making sure that umsebenzi wakho uyaqhubeka doesn't stop?
I'm also doing ilontuzana. Clothing, whereby I'm taking my art and then ngifaka ikipeni kumahudi, just for me ukuthi ngenze an extra cash.
Now I know from next month you have exhibition Imvela Kancane that will start on the 9th of July. Tell us more about that.
Imvela Kancane, it's basically about the current situation. You understand? Since I'm around Joburg, I realize ukuthi the situations corona iyenze abantu bastruggle kakhulu, and then kule show nginama faces out there ngikhuluma ngawo. I'm talking about street vendors. I'm also talking about the sense of touch. If ungabheka manje, the majority of people abastruggle because of this situation, abantu abazisebenzayo ekumele bazenzele imali in order for them ukuthi babhadala ama rent, babeke ukudla phezulu kwetafula. So basically the show it's talking about this current situation esifesane nayo kona manje.
Now are you also going to involve umculo, because I know there's a bit of music in there with you. We know that there's sometimes a prophecy in there here and there. So are you going to be involving those things when it comes to this exhibition? And also where can they buy the ticket, if they need to buy tickets, and how do they get hold of going to this exhibition?
Riverside Shopping Center, Candice Bemen Gallery.
And then umculo? All right. Well, thank you so much for we do appreciate it, and we hope that this exhibition will be a success, and all the best when it comes to your work. We appreciate it. All that was Uputi LEBOHANG SITHOLE, who's a creative artist, as he's telling us that he is going to have an exhibition from next month on the 9th of July. Should you want to see his work, you know exactly where you are supposed to go. Other than that, I'm going to leave you as you have seen his work. Take it over.
From rural to urban, we bring you local and international sport.
From Cape to Cairo, from Nairobi to Kinshasa. As we stand out amongst the rest. And we are here to inspire you.
From the Horn of Africa to the Equator's indigenous people.
Galaxy Universal Network. Khelikisa ditaba tse felletseng.
Abapenyi bezindaba nezintatheli ezingesabilutho.
Bila woga, upendeleo, hatuogopi chochote.
Channel 500 on StarSat. This is Galaxy Universal Network.